HP Smart Stream Director is a web-to-print solution that uses rules-based automation to get information from your customers about their jobs to your presses with little or no interaction from you. Using JDF, we're able to give the customer multiple options they can choose from, and this information then is used to set up your ticket templates at the press. So all your operator has to do is make sure the paper is loaded and then hit print. The first way we do this is by offering the customer several different job types. So right now I'm going to log into the print provider side. The print provider side is your interface for developing these rules for the customer. Under the job type library, we already have several job types developed for you that already have several rules in place. But you can create any new ones and also modify the ones that are currently in the system. Right now I'm just going to edit the business card one so you can see how it's set up and how the rules are created and controlled. Now under each job type, not only do we have basic information about the job, but we also have an area where the rules can be placed in regarding substrates, colors, number of pages, basically almost anything. We've added some additional ones here, such as select the type of lamination, how do you want your business cards packaged, and foil stamping. So with these, we also set several sub-options underneath them. This is important because also in each job type, we control exactly how things are priced based off of options that the customer can select. So if I jump over to settings, then pricing, here every option that we made available and sub option then shows up with a price or a line item price that can be applied to it. All you have to do is enable that option. So let's say the customer chooses between different substrates and you want your substrates priced differently. So we find our substrate, we enable it, and then we put in a price. Now this can either be by number of copies, by number of press sheets, by total printed pages, square inches or square meters, or it can be just a fixed cost. You can also set it to where the fixed cost adds with the variable cost. So if I wanted to do $1 flat and then 20 cents per press sheet, I could. Plus, you can also put in new ranges so that every so often the price will change based on the quantity ordered. And each of these lines are calculated separately so that you can really define your pricing down to the minutia. Also here under pricing, we determine how the job's going to be imposed and what device it'll be sent to based on the number of press sheets it requires. So if I have a new press device set up here, for the lower quantities, I can send the job to these digital devices. But if it's over 20,000, I would want to send the job to my new 10,000 press. So once you have it selected, you choose your edit option, and there's a small window here where you can control a in-up type imposition. Now this isn't a super strong imposition, but it is automated so that when jobs come through, it will automatically try to get the most up utilizing these rules and restrictions. So you set the size, you set your margins and gutters and bleeds, and then of course, how it's going to be cut and stack, saddle stitch, or perfect bound. That way, the customer can pretty much get most easy general impositions done out of the way. We also have the option of sending a job not imposed, so we can drop it over to any device. Now let's go ahead and log in as a print buyer so we can see our customers' interaction with these job types. This is one of our many storefronts that we have already set up in the system. Now you can create your own branded skins, or you can use one of the ones that we have already created for you. Right now I'm logging in as Marek, an administrator for AutoDeal. He's coming to the sites to do a couple of different things, such as he wants to order pre-built templates, plus he wants to upload his own artwork to one of our job types, and he also wants to check up on a status for an order. So the first thing he wants to do is he wants to start uploading his documents to one of our job types. So when he goes print documents from my computer, it'll show him a list of all the job types that we said this customer can see. So he has a new business card design, so he's going to select that. And this will start the order process, where he will now be asked to upload his files. So first he has to choose the specifications. Now this is before the upload file. That way the customer can select a couple of options and they can see what their price is going to be before they even upload the artwork. Now on the upload screen you can see that there's several file types that are accepted. All of these file types are turned into a PDF. So PDFs, JPEGs, TIFFs, GIFs, PostScripts, encapsulated PostScripts, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. There is one exception to that rule, and that is the SmartStream Designer integration we have, which allows you to create a HPD file, which is a packed designer, or it's an InDesign file with the designer plugin associated with it, and it packs the file up into one small InDesign package. Basically it's a zip file which will be allowed to be uploaded. You can also have the option of asking to send the files later, so if the customer is working with you and you're designing the file, or they're going to email it to you, or some other option. So I'm just going to find a file to upload real quick. I will be presented some options because this is being converted to a PDF, so there are some options when converting. Each file type of file actually allows different operations. Then the system's going to run a report on it to figure if there's any possible printing errors or anything along those lines, and present that options to the customers on how they can fix it, or if we're going to allow them to continue printing even though there might be some errors. Oh, and it seems we do have some errors, so let me see what we have. Page size is okay, the colors are okay, but there is one RGB image. So I've chosen to warn this customer about the RGB image, and of course we have the option of clicking and seeing the image here. And we have I understand this is a print related problems and want the print provider to provide a solution. This is our default warning spiel, but this is also modifiable by you. So we check mark that to continue. If we don't have that, the customer cannot continue from this point. They'll have to fix that RGB image before they can continue. And under the job details, they have information about the job, specifically what is the name of this job that they prefer, and also a small preview, which they can then get a PDF preview, and that's a low resolution proof, but it should give them a soft proof that they can take and give to others. I'm going to add that one to my cart. Now I also wanted to order a business card that was already on the site, so I'm going to go back to order jobs, go into the catalog, and this is where we store several of our pre-built templates. And there's a personalized envelope he wants set up, so let's just go ahead and start ordering that. Now here you'll see that the job shows up on the right hand side, the preview, and on the left hand side you get forms that you can fill in. As you fill these in, you'll see that it actually starts updating, and the customer can get a preview of their file while they're typing in their information. Also, you have the option of allowing a list to be uploaded to this, so if there was a mailing list that needed to be added, you could add that as well. So now we have both items in our shopping cart. Now I'm going to update my quantities, get a quote to show the pricing, and then if I'm satisfied, I'll accept the terms and conditions and proceed to checkout. The checkout procedures is fairly simple. There's a couple of different screens, all of which have the options of being on or off. So you can turn off any of these next pages or any option on these next pages. Here is the shipping date. This will tell them when their item should ship to them based off of default parameters. Now they also have the option, if you want to allow them, to select a earlier date so that it would be a rush job. The system can automatically upcharge for rush jobs. They can choose the shipping options that you make available to them. They can choose who this product is going to ship to. They can edit the current address. They can choose items from the address book. They can enter a whole new shipping address, or they can ship to multiple recipients based off of who's added in their address book. Under the billing details, they can see who the bill to address is. There's an optional place up here where we can ask additional questions, such as surveys. Down here we have where each job is listed out, and there can be applied a cost center and a reference code for each job. And then the whole order can be paid for by purchase order or credit card through integration to PayPal or Authorize.net. And then once we're satisfied our order is placed, we place the order, and then we get our confirmation of the order. And there's our new order number. Now, the customer also wanted to come into the shop to track jobs that they have in the system. Now, we have a track jobs menu, which has a complete list of different queues available to them. The first one under track jobs is save jobs. These are jobs that have not been ordered yet, and they wish to save them for later. Here, you can save a job that you wish to order multiple times in the future, and you can just duplicate that job every time you want to place that order. Just duplicate the job and then add it to the cart. It's quick and easy. You don't have to go out and fill forms. So if you filled it out correctly once, you can just save it and then use it from then on. The approval queue is used in the situation where perhaps there's a department that cannot approve their own orders. A manager has to approve their orders for them. So they would be logged into Director as just a user, and then as they place their orders, those are just requests for an order. They'll show up here in the approval queue. Once they show up in the approval queue, someone with the ordering capabilities can come in and then complete that order. Printing queue. This is all jobs for this user that are currently printing or waiting to be printing at the press. And of course from here they can reorder the job, preview it, make sure. Here's everything being shipped that's currently showing that's being shipped. Also, it includes a tracking number if a tracking number has been applied to that, so that the customer can actually click on the job and then click on the tracking information. Let me see if any tracking information has been applied to any of these. And no. So from here, they can then mark one of the jobs as received, and then it would show up under the received queue. But of course, if none of these queues are handy enough, we have an ad hoc search engine so that the customer can come in and do a complete search for their jobs. So I'm just going to search for all jobs. And then once they have their list, they can then export it as an Excel report. From here, we're going to log back out and log back in as a print provider to show you how you interact with the job once the customer has ordered it, if you require any interactions at all. So here under the print provider side, all new jobs will show up here under the production list. Now, jobs, because each of these jobs have been associated with a job type, it already knows what colors it uses, what substrate it's using, how many press sheets it's requiring. You can also modify it from here. It also has the high resolution imposition sheet already designed for you. Now, from here, there's many things that you can do with this job. So in case the customer made some kind of error. The first is you can edit the properties. This will allow you to change anything that the customer put in. You can change who it's shipping and billing to, what its price is, what specifications they placed in it, and even the variable information if they type something wrong. There's also controls here to change which device you're actually sending it to. This allows you to change the device and how it's going to impose on the fly. You also have the option to view the job ticket, which is in digital format, so you can see it from any computer. From here, you can then approve the job to the press. Now, we do have a setting to where jobs will automatically approve to the press from here, but you can utilize this as a whiteboard or sorting if you wish to. And jobs will only stop here in the production queue if they encounter an alert or an error. So now we've approved our job to the press. We can go to the printing queue and see exactly how that job is reacting at the press. So we select one of our jobs, we click the status icon, and it'll show exactly what's happening at the press via JMF messaging. You can see that this job was downloaded to the press, ripped, and routed to the press itself, and is currently printing. Now, just because we sent the job to the press doesn't mean that Director is finished with the job. You still have all the controls that you had before, such as the edit and the job ticket and all the other resources available to you for this particular job. And if this job needs to be sent to a different location, you can easily just move it because it keeps an asset copy on Director as well as sending it to the output device. Once the jobs are printed and all finishing steps are done, once the job is finished, the job will show up here in the printing queue. So once it shows up at whoever your shipping manager is or whoever's in charge of the shipping, they can they can tell it to create a delivery package, which will create a shipping label, and also they can apply tracking information. So for this job, I'm going to apply a little tracking information. Now, if you have the online integration with UPS or FedEx, the tracking information will be pulled when you create the delivery label for that. If not, you'll have to manually put it in. And then you can just approve the selected deliveries from here. Also in Director, we have the ability for you to create your own reports just like the customer does when they're tracking jobs. So here under your track jobs, you can do the same search and but you'll see every customer's files. Then you can do your Excel report as well. That's the general overview of Director and how it works. I hope you enjoyed this preview or this demonstration. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me for a more in-depth demonstration. Thank you very much.